This is Konstantinos. I just want to... Just a second. I just wanted to let you know that we're running a bit...
Καλησπέρα σας. Καλησπέρα σας, κυρίες και κύριοι. Είμαι η Π.Α. Westcoat, Διευθύντρια της Αμερικανικής Σχολής Κλασικών Σπουδών στην Αθήνα. Με μεγάλη μου χαρά σας καλωσορίζω εδώ απόψε για να γιορτάσουμε τα εγγένεια της έκθεσης στο όνομα της ανθρωπιάς, Αμερικανική ανακουφιστική βοήθεια στην Ελλάδα, από το 1918 μέχρι το 1929. Η έκθεση βασίζεται σε υλικό από τις πλούσιες συλλογές των αρχείων και της Γεναδίου Βιβλιοθήκης για να αφηγηθεί συναρπαστική ιστορία της ανθρωπιστικής βοήθειας που προσέφεραν οι Αμερικανικοί για να υποστηρίζουν τους πρόσφυγες στην Ελλάδα στις ταραγμένες εποχές μετά τον Πρώτο Παγκόσμιο Πόλεμο. Θα ήθελα να ευχαριστήσω πολύ τις επιμελήτριες της έκθεσης, την Ελευθερία Νταλέζιου, αρχαιονόμο, την Μαρία Γιωργοπούλου, Διευθύντρια της Γεναδίου Βιβλιοθήκης, και την Ναταλία Βοηγέκοφ-Μπρόγεν, Διευθύντρια Αρχείων, που συγκέντρωσαν προσωπικά έγγραφα, άφισες, φωτογραφίες, ταινίες και αντικείμενα, τα οποία προσφέρουν νέες γνώσεις για την αμερικανική εμπλοκή σε αυτήν την κρίσιμη περίοδο της ελληνικής και παγκόσμιας ιστορίας. Το Σώμα των Επιτροπών της Αμερικανικής Σχολής και η Επίτροπη της Γεναδίου Βιβλιοθήκης υποστηρίζαν με θέρμη και ενθουσιασμό αυτήν την έκθεση. Η ενθάρρυνσή τους και η οικονομική τους υποστήριξη υπήρξαν κέρυες για την επιτυχία της. Όπως πάντα, εκτιμούμε την αφοσίωσή τους στην αποστολή της Αμερικανικής Σχολής. Σας ευχαριστούμε. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As director of the American School of Classical Studies at Athens, I'm delighted to welcome you here this evening for the opening of the exhibition In the Name of Humanity, American Relief Aid in Greece from 1918 to 1929. The exhibition draws on the rich collections of our archives and Gennadius Library to create a powerfully evocative narrative of the relief efforts made by Americans to support refugees in Greece during the turbulent years following World War I. I would like to thank warmly the curators of the exhibition, Eleftheria Deleziou, reference archivist, Maria Yorgopoulou, director of the Gennadius Library, and Natalia Voigekov-Brogan, director of the archives, for bringing together personal papers, posters, photographs, films, and artifacts that offer new insights into American involvement in this critical period of Greek and world history. The Board of Trustees of the American School of Classical Studies and the overseers of the Gennadius Library have been steadfast in their support of this exhibition. Their encouragement and financial support have been critical to its success. As always, we appreciate their strong commitment to the mission of the American School. 100 years separate us from the people this exhibition chronicles, but we are not strangers to similar crises. In the Name of Humanity reminds us of how others rose to meet the challenges of those in need. They had agendas, to be sure, but their aims at heart were humanitarian, and the legacy of their actions is both tangible and human. It is therefore with gratitude that I turn to the curators, who will share with you the highlights of this exhibition, beginning with Eleftheria Delezio. Eleftheria.
Καλώς ορίσατε απόψε στα εγγένεια της έκθεσης. Με ιδιαίτερη χαρά θα μοιραστούμε μαζί σας μια μικρή περιγραφή πριν περάσουμε στην πτέρυγα Μαχριγιάννη και θα μας επιτρέψετε να το κάνουμε αυτό στα αγγλικά. Αλλά θα είμαστε βεβαίως διαθέσιμες αργότερα να συζητήσουμε μαζί σας αυτά που θα ακολουθήσουν και πολλά περισσότερα και στα ελληνικά και στα αγγλικά. Welcome and thank you for your presence tonight for the inauguration of our exhibition. When the whole story of this work is written, it will take pride of place as a glorious page in the annals of mankind, and its charity will shine like a brilliant star in a long and dark night. At the same time, the Americans have, through other organizations such as the American Red Cross and the Near East Relief, achieved the unbelievable in the Balkans, in Asia Minor, and now finally in Greece. The words belong to Friedrich Nansen, the League of Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, the recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize in December 1922, and they form part of his acceptance speech. On the centenary of the signing of the Lausanne Convention, the American School of Classical Studies at Athens presents an exhibition spotlighting a monumental humanitarian endeavor etched in history. The American relief aid extended to Greece between 1918 and 1929. The profound impact of the Lausanne Convention's population exchange reverberated for a decade as 1.2 million Greek Orthodox Turkish nationals were uprooted from Turkey to Greece, while 400,000 Greek nationals of the Muslim religion were moved from Greece to Turkey. This pivotal moment summoned the benevolent efforts of several esteemed American humanitarian agencies, the American Red Cross, the Near East Relief, the American Women's Hospitals, and the Young Men's Christian Association. These organizations, united, deliver invaluable emergency relief to orphan children and displaced refugees. Furthermore, in collaboration with the American Friends of Greece, the American Collegiate Institute Relief Committee, and the Near East Industries, they ingeniously orchestrated avenues for employment, for foundational education, and comprehensive mental and physical health care. These multi-layered initiatives empowered the refugees, particularly women, by providing them with the necessary tools and resources to attain self-sufficiency, thus fostering resilience and rejuvenation within their lives. This exhibition brings into focus the tireless efforts of diverse individuals, ranging from political appointees and philanthropic leaders to educators and dedicated relief workers. Motivated by a sense of duty rooted in Christian, patriotic, or personal beliefs, they collectively played a pivotal role in reshaping Greece after 1922. The exhibition draws on a rich array of resources, including correspondence, official documents, rare publications, photographs, artifacts, posters, short films, and handmade crafts. These treasures, curated from the extensive collections of the American School of Classical Studies and borrowed from various institutions, converge here for the first time to weave, we believe, a compelling narrative of profound significance. Natalia?
Καλησπέρα και από μένα. I will also continue in English. Bert Hodge Hill, Carl Blegen, Edward Katz and his daughter Priscilla, and Ioannis Genadios were key figures associated with the American School, and each played a crucial role in U.S. relief aid to Greece. They were the connecting tissue between Greece and America in more than one way, serving as conduits for American involvement in Greece in the interwar period. I will briefly introduce you to these people. Hill, director of the American School for 20 years, was well regarded and had high-profile connections, especially with the Greek royal family. Hill, who described himself as an adjuster and negotiator, was instrumental in facilitating the work of the American Red Cross in 1918 and 1919 in Greece, in responding to the refugee crisis in 1922 by chairing the Athens American Relief Committee, and later in 1927 by serving as acting chairman of the Refugee Settlement Commission. His personal papers in the school's archives include extensive documentation of his relief work, his tours of inspection in rural refugee settlements in Macedonia, and his involvement in a census of urban refugees. Karl Blegen, the school's secretary and later a distinguished archaeologist, had been in Greece since 1909 and shared with Hill a deep knowledge of the country. In 1918 and 1919, he volunteered with the American Red Cross in Eastern Macedonia. Blegen's mission was to organize the repatriation of thousands of Greeks who had been taken hostages to Bulgaria. We would not have known much about his work in Macedonia without his own diary, which is preserved together with his papers in the school's archives, and it's on display in the exhibition. One thing is for certain: without Hill and Blegen on the ground, Edward Capps, the newly appointed chairman of the school's managing committee, he served as a chairman of the school from 1918 to 1939, Capps would not have headed the Greek Commission of the American Red Cross. A professor of classics at Princeton University, Capps became minister to Greece during the last months of Woodrow Wilson's presidency in 1920-1921. It is not clear when and how it was decided that Capps would lead the Greek Commission. The fact that he had been a colleague of Wilson's at Princeton must have played some role. That Capps had access to the American school, a repository of local experience, must have given him a leg up in the selection process. In 1919, the Greek government decorated Capps, Hill, and Blegen for their service with the American Red Cross. Today, only Hill's decoration is preserved in the school's archives and is on display at the exhibition. Another object testifying to the American school's involvement with the American Red Cross is a Singer sewing machine, which was rediscovered in the basement of the director's house. It carries a brass plaque, Croce Rossa Americana. I guess it came to us through Italy. Capps continued to be concerned with Greek affairs long after 1919. Through his service with the American Red Cross, he had met Eleftherios Venizelos and was widely viewed as a strong supporter of that Greek politician. On November 12, 1922, so just a month or 2 months after the Asia Minor catastrophe, Capps published a long article in the New York Times holding the US government accountable for Greece's financial collapse. And in 1923, after the premature withdrawal of the American Red Cross from Greece, Capps, together with other Americans who had first-hand knowledge of the situation, felt strongly that the Greek refugee problem was far from over. Capps acted by creating the American Friends of Greece. The organization's membership list included many important American philhellenes. In a series of press releases issued in early 1924, the American Friends counteracted announcements by the American Red Cross that the Greek refugee problem had been solved. Today, only one of the organization's pamphlets is preserved in the school's archives, and the contribution of this organization to Greek affairs remains largely unknown. Fortunately, we discovered an entire folder about the American Friends of Greece in the online catalog of the League of Nations archives in Geneva. We cannot emphasize enough the importance of having access to online resources, such as the photographic collections of the Library of Congress or photos in the National Documentation Center here in Greece, το Εθνικό Κέντρο Τεκμηρίωσης. This exhibition would not have been possible 10 to 15 years ago, and a large part of it is based on primary and unpublished research. The incorporation of the American Friends of Greece marked the start of Priscilla Kaps's involvement with the refugees. Priscilla had assisted her father, Edward Kaps, in Athens during his service as U.S. Minister to Greece. In 1925, she moved to Greece to manage the embroidery workshops that the American Friends had developed in Athens to support refugee women. Priscilla would make Greece her home until 1941, and when she was forced to leave as the U.S. entered World War II. Her work with the Near East industries, as the American Friends of Greece workshops rebranded themselves, also remains largely unknown. It was Jack Davis's preoccupation with Edward Kaps that led him to discover Priscilla's activities. Since 2016, he has been systematically collecting products of the Near East industries, dolls, purses, and tablecloths, and donating them to their school's archives. Unknowingly, and by a fortunate coincidence, another member of the American School's extended family, April Michas, was collecting the handsome purses and embroideries that Priscilla's workshops produced. Both collections, together with a third recently gifted to the American School by Julia Scheer and Alexandra Scheer, form part of this exhibition. We thank them all. Further research on the Near East industries could not but lead to the activities of the parent organization, the Near East Relief. A series of posters produced in 1919 to support a $30 million campaign of the Near East Relief introduces the visitor to the Near East Relief's work with Armenian and Syrian refugees and Greek refugees before 1922. We're also privileged to have in the American School the personal papers of Dorothy Sutton, who joined the Near East overseas personnel in 1920, working first in Turkey and after 1922, managing Near East relief orphanages set up in Greece. It so happened that on the premises of the Near East Relief orphanage, on Syros, pieces of garments, kitchen utensils, and the toys of the orphans were recently discovered. We're grateful to Lefteris Zorzos for lending us some of these items for our exhibition. Studying Sutton's career and trying to understand how the Near East Relief operated in Greece allowed us to highlight the work of the many brave American women doctors who volunteered in Greece in the interwar period as at the American Women's Hospital. These American women doctors were not allowed to join the American Red Cross in the battlefields or in the operations in Europe, and so they established their own organization in order to provide their services in Europe and in Greece. Both organizations, the Near East Relief and the American Women's Hospital, long continued to operate in Greece, supporting initiatives in healthcare and vocational education, while also maintaining hospitals and health centers. Because their work remains almost unknown in Greece, the exhibition highlights these brave women who dedicated their spirit, heart, and life to serve more than 1 million distressed refugees. Hand in glove with US humanitarian aid to Greece, Greek-American commercial relations expanded considerably in the 1920s. American endeavors, such as the construction of the Marathon Dam and the reclamation of the Strymon and Drama valleys, marked transformative milestones in Greece's infrastructure. These projects not only provided employment opportunities for vulnerable refugees, but also ushered in an improved quality of life devoid of the scourges of malaria and disease. Another such project from the same period, the Gennadios Library, not only employed many refugees, but also created a legacy for future generations. I will now ask the director of the Gennadios Library and co-curator in this exhibition to continue our presentation.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ, Ναταλία. Sorry. So I will speak about education and the legacy of education and the Greek American community and its relationship with the refugee crisis. But I start from the American school and my professional home, the Gennadios Library. In 1922, and as you will see, my Greek is also on the screen, so anyway, we're trying to speak two languages at the same time. Ioannis Gennadios, a noted Greek diplomat who had lobbied extensively in Greece, in England and the United States, decided to bequeath his cherished collection of about 30,000 volumes to the American school. It is no accident that it was Edward Capps who encouraged the Gennadios to make this gift in order to broaden the educational scope and agenda of the American school. This gift forged a new, robust and unbroken bond with Greece in order to benefit its national interests, Gennadios wrote. Indeed, the Gennadios Library was the first major library in Greece to focus on the study of the Byzantine, post-Byzantine, and modern Greek world. It was a library embodying the ideology of the Megali Idea, the great idea, and it was built on its ashes by destitute refugees, thanks to the generosity of the Carnegie Corporation that offered $275,000 for the building of the library. The interwar period was a turbulent time for Greece and Greek education, as the Venizelists were pushing for a secular and liberal schooling away from the prescriptions of the church. The welcoming of several American schools to Greek soil proved crucial for the modernization of Greek education by importing tenets of the U.S. liberal colleges. Venizelos' presence is everywhere. He offered concessions of land and tax exemptions, encouraging the American educational institutions to come to Greece. The American Junior College for Girls, now American College of Greece, which transferred its seat from Smyrna to Athens, opened many academic and professional opportunities for young women who were encouraged to excel in the classroom and beyond. The American Farm School, founded in Thessaloniki in 1904, became a true incubator for young farmers by introducing to Macedonia many technological innovations, from the straight-tooth harrow, the cultivator, and the tractor to a model meteorological station. Run by missionaries, some of these institutions were seen with suspicion in Greece owing to the strict Greek laws against proselytizing. Still, they inspired confidence in the population. As George White, president of the other important American school that relocated to Thessaloniki from Merziphon in Asia Minor, and this is Anatolia College, so George White noted, in spite of impoverishment, bereavement, and exile, the people plan and plead for the education of their boys. The relief of refugees and orphan children that these schools offered through employment, provision of accommodation, feeding, and sanitary health provisions are grounded on the belief that the refugees needed much more than money. They were offered paid work so that they could find their bearings and their self-esteem in order to restart their lives in Greece. Moreover, the lasting legacy of these educational institutions are the thousands of their graduates who excelled and still excel in Greece or the United States as valuable members of their respective societies by displaying a robust work ethic. In addition to education within the classroom, these American educational institutions, along with the YMCA in Athens and Thessaloniki, brought to Greece many extracurricular, athletic, and recreational activities, including the very important basketball game. Our exhibition also emphasizes and turns to Ottoman Greeks who embarked on a journey directly from Asia Minor to America. The term Ottoman Greeks, referring to Greek Orthodox Turkish nationals, was coined by US immigration authorities on Ellis Island. They played a vital role contributing to humanitarian aid efforts in support of their fellow countrymen in Greece, while simultaneously forging a distinctive identity on American shores. Recent research on the mutual aid societies that were formed by Greek Americans and Ottoman Greek migrants to the United States provides a new framework within which to appreciate identity formation in the diaspora. Linguistic, racial, and cultural differences seemingly kept Greek and Ottoman Greek communities apart. We're only starting to understand these nuances through the pioneering research of Giorgos Topalidis, whom we thank for his generosity in sharing his work with us. The Greek-American Anatolian diaspora, in addition to its many monetary contributions to the refugee relief work, made also a significant cultural contribution, or many rather, notably through the widespread dissemination of folk and rembetika songs that captured the challenges of population exchange. These expressions vividly explore the profound impact of America on the refugees' lives. We're grateful to Christopher King for enriching this exhibition with his unique knowledge and with several items for his 78 record collection that captures the voices, rhythms, instruments, and above all, the longing, the kaimos of the refugees for their lost homelands. This exhibition, like the topic it covers, has been very much a collective effort. We owe immense gratitude to many colleagues who have come forward to assist with their erudition, family stories, personal experience, or collections. We would like to express our gratitude to Yorgos Mavrokordatos and William McGrew, but also Tony Moho, for fruitful discussions that have shaped or clarified many points that are treated here in the exhibition. We thank Ioannis Papadopoulos of the Museum of Pharmacology of the Athens Medical School and Elisabeth Komninou for the Singer sewing machine that belongs to her family. We're also grateful to Jenny Barker Devine of Illinois College and Rini Papous of the Rockefeller Archive Center and for material from the archives of the Near East Relief. We thank Kalliope Amigdalou, Vilma Chastaoglou Martinidi, and Paul Marinos Deladétsimas, as well as Antonis Wodis, that have given us invaluable information on several projects, especially about the YMCA in Greece. We're grateful to Damiana Koutsomicha, head librarian at the Dimitris and Aliki Perotis family library of the American Farm School and Perotis College. We're indebted to Dimitra Papakostandindou, archivist of the American College of Greece, archives and special collections. And we thank the trustees of Anatolia College and especially Ivi Tramandza, director of archives and libraries at Anatolia College, for all their help in getting material to us and information about the archives. Our thanks, sorry, I should have gone there. Our thanks go also to colleagues in the United States who have lent their time and effort in providing us with digital copies of photographic and archival material. Matthew Herbison of the Legacy Center Archives, Drexel University College of Medicine, Chris Widman and Tony Vanden Bos of the Wright State University Special Collection and Archives, Ryan Bean, archivist of the Couts family YMCA YMCA archives at the University of Minnesota Libraries, and staff at the Navy Department Library, Naval History and Heritage Command. We're also thankful to Ismini Lamb and Scott Taylor of Georgetown University, as well as to Paul Farnham and Robert Jennings for sharing material either from their families or from the places where they work. The reliable, and I need to get closer to home, the reliable and dedicated support of Maria Smali on all organizational aspects has been, as always, a reassuring force for the execution of things. Lira Kostaki, Jack Davis, Jen Satcher, and Antonia Gunaropoulou contributed with their editing skills, and Sotiris Lapas with the Greek translation. We thank them enormously. The input of the Athens Law Group also is important because we had quite a few loans, and that is important. We thank the school's director, Bona Westcott, for her support and advice throughout the project. George Orfanakos, Joanne Berdabis, and James Freeman, who have contributed significantly to the promotion of the project in the US, and we think they will contribute much more in the months to come. Heartfelt thanks go to Andreas Georgiadis, Vivi Gerolimatu, and their team at Mikri Arktos for the inspired design and thorough execution of the exhibition and the catalogue. Finally, this exhibition would not have happened without the generosity of Konstantin Dino Makrikostas and Zoe Sarbanes Papas, to whom we owe a debt of gratitude. Dino was born in the American Women's Hospital in Coquigna in 1935. Understandably, this is a topic very dear to his heart, and it is also the inspiration of the exhibition. To Fokion Potamianos, we're indebted immensely for financing the publication of this catalogue. The support and encouragement of the overseers of the Gennadios Library, under the leadership of Andreas Zombanakis, who has championed the celebration of this unique American humanitarian effort, set in motion the entire project. To them and the whole team of the American School that helped us along every step of the way, we owe our gratitude. Before we go to the Makrigiannis wing to view the exhibition, we have a small surprise that we hope will work thanks to technology. And we thank you all for being here, and we will invite you now to the little surprise. Eleftheria, the microphone is yours.
In 1924, child actor Jackie Coogan, known from starring along Charlie Chaplin in the silent movie The Kid, was commissioned by the Near East Relief to lead a nationwide campaign for milk and foodstuffs for the orphans in the Near East. In September 1924, Coogan made a trip to Europe and visited Athens in early October. Thousands of children greeted him at the port of Piraeus. Jackie met with Near East Relief orphans, visited the President of the Hellenic Republic, and was also decorated by the Greek government. Footage of this memorable visit is shown here for the first time in Athens, thanks to Carla Garapidian and the Near East Foundation. Carla?
And thank you for including me in this event and giving me the opportunity to talk about this find, which came as a big surprise last year. For those of us who study this particular period of history, we're always looking in archives, universities, private collections for those pieces, those artifacts, those documents, those still photographs. But we rarely look for moving image because there wasn't a lot of moving image in this period. And so I always am looking out for things, especially now because archives are increasingly digitizing their collections and making those collections available to worldwide audiences. So every so often, I will, as we say, go down the rabbit hole and search really using different search words at different times. And I decided last year that I would search for Charlie Chaplin. And I would also search for Near East relief and Charlie Chaplin, because as many of you know, it's not just where you search, it's how you search. And by putting those two search categories together, I came to an archive that I hadn't explored before. And so I inquired to the curator and said, would you please look in your collection to see if you have anything from the Near East relief period? And within an hour, he came up with a title, which was called Jackie in the Near East. Now, just as background, I knew that Jackie Coogan was very involved with the Near East relief campaign. One of his films, it's in the public domain now, and it shows his trip to Detroit. And it also shows meeting different people in the United States, raising money by asking Americans to donate food, to maybe skip a meal and give the money instead to the Near East relief cause. That film was in the public domain. But the film about Jackie Coogan in Greece, that one was considered lost. So as those of you who may know, who study film, silent film, or are interested in silent movies, why are so many films gone from that period? Well, the answer is that it was dangerous to hold on to nitrate film, which was the stock. Nitrate was very volatile, and there were a lot of fires that not only caused fires in movie theaters, but also caused fires in the archives that held that footage. So most of the movies from that period are gone. But as it happens, this particular archive still had nitrate film. And so I'm very happy with that long introduction. I'm very happy to show you Jackie in the Near East, which features Jackie Coogan on behalf of the Near East Relief Organization going to Greece. And what I want you to look for not only are the obvious things like the places he goes to, which you will recognize, but I want you in particular to look at the orphan children, because this is very rare footage of orphans from the Sira orphanage. Look at those pictures because they're extremely rare. We have still photos, but not moving picture. And so without further ado, here it is, Jackie in the Near East. there, and I think you'd agree it's kind of poignant, and just in the fact that it shows not only those orphans but also Jackie Coogan, who was only 10 years old at the time, and his father was quoted as saying that he wanted his son to be part of the Near East Relief Campaign, not only because he could help raise money, but because he wanted his son to see how other people lived around the world. So, so it's an interesting story in and of itself. Thank you very much for letting us show the film.
Carla?
Yes.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful to have this film shared with the crowd here in Athens, and we hope to see it soon and learn more about it, and maybe identify some of the actors, I mean, of the people
yes,
who were.
Yes, that would be interesting.
Thank you. Bye.
Ακούγεται? And now we're done. And it's time for you to see the exhibition. So walk across the gardens to the Makrigiannis wing and to share with us also a glass of wine. Thank you for coming.